going to open up the Grosse Ile Community Recreation Commission meeting for tonight, Thursday, April 30th, 2015. We're just a couple of minutes late, waiting for some stragglers. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And first on the agenda is a Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I say Jordan and I'm going. Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Has everybody had a chance to look it over, and is everything in line, or are there any additions? Deletions? Nothing? I need a motion to approve the agenda as written.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. Approval of the minutes of the March 26, 2015 minutes. Has everybody had a chance to look those over? Are there any changes that you may be aware of or we should be aware of? I'll request a motion for that approval of those minutes.
Approve the minutes.
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have a couple of people from the public to make comments, and first, our Commodore of the Yacht Club, West River Yacht and Cruising Club, whatever, George Marks. George, you want to come up and...
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is George Marks. I'm the current Commodore of West River Yacht and Cruising Club. I came here tonight to invite you personally, representing our club members, to the opening of the marina and a flag raising ceremony, May 16th on Saturday from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. We'll be serving a potluck dinner, we'll have a raffle, and we will not be serving any alcoholic drinks. If you want to drink something, you bring it to yourself. This invitation goes to the commission members and also the community. Anybody in the community would like to join us. This is a first event. It's very similar to what Fort Yacht Club has with the opening of the islands. This will be opening the marina, and there'll probably be a closing of the marina in the fall of the year. But we want to coordinate this with a flag raising ceremony. I think the member's been provided with a flyer, and we'd love to see some or all of you there at this event. I'd also like to take this time to invite you to consider membership in our club. We're presently having a membership drive. Our club has a lot to offer. We're celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. It's a low-cost membership. We have 3 memberships, dual, single, and social. We have no monthly fees. We have no minimums. We have no work hours and no assessments. But this club does allow you to attend all the other clubs in the neighborhood. Downriver, in this area, we have 8 sister clubs. With a membership, you're entitled to access those clubs and partake in any of their facilities. Also, you're allowed to bring a guest, which a lot of people don't know that with your membership, going to another club, it not only entitles you to enter the club, but also you can bring a guest to enter the club. Our club is very active. When I approach people, the most common thing I hear when I ask them to consider joining our club is, I don't have a boat. Well, you really don't have to have a boat. We're a social club along with a boating club. All our boating events are also attainable by land, by car, except for 2, which is Put-in Bay and the Boblo event. We have bench year-round, along with other clubs. We have poker runs that are by bus. You don't have to drive a car. We just completed a bus trip to Casual Cafe for feather bowling, which is one of our new events. And we've got great reviews on how much fun that was. We have Commodore ball ticket for full memberships other than the social membership. We have paid food functions where you're given with your membership 3 meals during the year. We have membership appreciation parties. There's a lot to be had. I brought a flyer with me that I'd like to leave with you, Bill. It gives you the contact information with my phone number, our member large phone number, and our website address. I'd like to give this to you.
Yeah. Have you turned that over to Ted Fournier to put it on cable?
I believe we did. Did we give him?
I can pass it on to him. It'll be in the channels.
If you would, please.
Yeah, we put it on channels and cable, and sometimes if you tweet or Facebook, Kathy can give us an idea of how to promote whatever it is you're promoting. I have a question though, George, does that cover your participation in ILYA and AYC?
AYC it does, but IOYA no. IOYA, if you're referring to Powerboat Regatta Plume Bay,
Well, whatever. They have other functions that are not Powerboat.
yes, they have fundraisers. All the clubs do. In fact, this week from AYC, I got 24 flyers. From the 8 clubs downriver, there's 24 flyers out there just for next month. Just
Yeah.
give you an idea of all the social events that are going on. There's fish fries, steak grills, breakfasts, burger nights. There's all kinds of things to do. What impressed me most is when I came to West River Yacht and Cruising Club. After I was voted in, you have to be sponsored by a club member, which is really no problem. What impressed me about this club is the very first meeting I attend, most of the members called me by my first name, which is really impressive, what a close-knit group this is. It's an older group, and it's very cohesive. We don't have the clickiness or the posturing that you have in some of the social events at the clubs. Our club is very open and very welcome to new people, new members, and I would say also new ideas.
Yeah, well, that's good. I have a question about, which would be
Right?
attached to what George is saying is, do we have any docks available this year? We're not quite sure at this
Not
point.
quite, not right now, because we have a few that need to be repaired, and we have some new members, so at this time, I don't think there's any spots, but we're kind of working all that out right now.
Okay, good. We'll announce that, and obviously if we can fill that marina, that'll give you more access to actual boaters, so that'll be good.
Yes, in regards to the marina, at A-Dock, I don't know how many of you are familiar with the marina down there at A-Dock, almost every Sunday, weather permitting, there's a party there. And if anybody would like to come join us and find out what we're about or see who we are, we'll be more than happy, more than welcome to break some bread with you.
You mentioned the May 16th party and BYOB.
Yes.
Are we allowed to drink alcohol off of the dock?
We have in the past. I don't know of any issues that we cannot.
As long as we're
We can't
inside.
sell it or give it away,
As
no.
long as we're inside the gated area?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And George, what time was the,
From 3 p.m. to 5 p.m.
thank you.
Yeah, it's a fun group. I've personally met them being on the Marina Committee for a lot of years, so that's great. George, anything else?
That's it. Thank you very much for allowing me to
Thank you
speak.
very much for coming down.
Good evening.
All shiny, cleaned out there with it. I feel like I gotta salute you. Okay. Kathy Walker, did you have something you wanted to share with the,
Just a little bit. Kathy
Community?
Walker. If you guys in the control room can take that picture. I just want to remind everybody, May is here, starting tomorrow, and May 26th, we kayak starts. So I'm hoping that people out there, here, let's get it straight. I'm hoping people out in the marina and perhaps West River and Cruising, they might have a couple kayaks and want to join us too. So it's free. It starts on the 26th. We've had a lot of response. I sent Randy, and that's going to be in channels. And like I said, it's free. And I met a gal on Tuesday. They're coming from Grosse Pointe. We have people from all over. It starts at 6. It lasts till about 7:30, 8 o'clock. There is no fee. We are fortunate to have Riverside Kayaking with us. There's no fee. They go with us, and it's a little safety. They're professionals, so we're very, very excited. And it's our 3rd season, so I hope everybody comes. And the only other thing I would hope for is, as the marina season is starting, I hope the Rec Commission will start thinking about Wi-Fi for the marina, so that the boaters and the kayakers could perhaps enjoy their data plans and looking at things when we're out there, because everywhere you go, it's, things are Wi-Fi now. Sears even. I couldn't believe it today. But anyways, if you think about it, I know Mr. Swales isn't here tonight, but it's something that I've been asked about before, and I think it'd be a great thing since the other 7 local marinas have Wi-Fi. And I think, Brandy, you've been talked to about it, I think, too. It's a great thing. It's getting more and more inexpensive. It's becoming part of the fabric of life. So I thank you, and I hope everybody comes to We Kayak. It's going to be a great season. Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bill?
And,
Oh,
yes.
I'm sorry. Can I add something to Kathy's?
Sure,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely.
For some reason, last year, the rain god picked Tuesdays as the night that he wanted to rain on us, right? Rain on our parade. Hopefully that won't take place this year. But if you don't have a kayak, there is a local business in the area that sponsors or helps sponsor the We Kayak event on Tuesdays. And if you need a kayak, you can call them up. It needs to be before noon, the day of the event. And they will bring a kayak down for you. They'll fit you. They'll have the PFD, your flotation device, the paddles. And so don't feel that you have to have a kayak, because they'll bring one down for you. You just need to make arrangements prior to.
What's the number
Yeah.
now?
And it's, what is it, Kathy? It's like $30 for the,
I think it's 35, I don't know.
yeah, it's very reasonable.
Unfortunately, I bought a kayak.
And if you-
Let me get you the number. I've got it right here. 734-285-2925. That is Riverside Kayak Connection. And if you're interested in any information, go to We Kayak Facebook. And we have information every week. I put up something once the season starts. If we're going to not have it because of the rain gods, we tell you on it. It's the Facebook page. It's not the .com, because that was my personal website for my class project. But just go to the Facebook page. It's all there, including Riverside Kayak's phone number.
And we are named as a partner.
Yes.
The Groseal Recreation Commission is named as department is named as a
Yeah.
partner of Riverside Kayak. So
Yes.
good people.
Very
glad to
good
help you.
people. Love
Show up.
Yeah, and it's free, and it's a great opportunity to get on the waters around Grosse Ile, and there's no better kayaking than around here. No better. Take care.
And don't forget, there's 6 other days in the week that kayak launch is available for use.
Absolutely.
And so come on down. It's been very active and very pleasant for me to look out my back window and see all the kayaks going up and down the canal. And not just on Tuesday, but Tuesday is always the greatest amount. But it's really nice to see that being used and our nice waterways being used. So
And thank you again, Mr. Morrow, for all your help, and Mr. Malvesto and the Rec Commission, because without the support here, we never would have gotten this. They tried for 20 years, and you guys made it happen. Thank you again.
Well, I got a question, one quick question. Is there a set route that you kayak every time, or no?
No, we've got so many routes, and we have so many capabilities. There are people who have never been in a kayak before. There are people who are, one guy's got 16. I mean, he's really into it. So we kind of, depending on how big the group is, because we've had up to 25 people, they kind of break off. Like some of the guys, they go all the way down to the bridge and back, and then we kind of meet up. If it's windy, we go down Thoroughfare. If we're interested in looking at the bald eagles, we'll go over to that little marshy area. If we feel like, bothering Mr. Loftus, we go through Swan Island. Everybody does what we want. Is it hot today? Is it windy? Who feels like doing this? It's very informal. It's a nice group. There's no, as I always say, there's no kamikaze kayaking. That's on Wednesday nights in Wyandotte. We don't rush. We take our time. You want to go faster? Feel free, but everybody's going to do it at their own pace and just have a really nice time, and we try to make everybody happy. We've had handicapped people come with us. We've had new people, we've had experienced people, and everybody seems to leave very happy. So, and I hope, Brandy, I hope you come, because you kayak, don't you? So everybody's invited. Okay.
great, thanks again,
It'll,
everyone.
eventually, with our ADA, once we get our ADA kayak launch installed,
It'd be bigger.
it'll be even bigger. But take the opportunity, if you've never done it before but you're interested, take the opportunity to join the group. Who knows, you may enjoy it so much that you'll get your own kayak, and we're going to have a beautiful launch area for you. So
Yeah.
thanks, Bill.
Okay, thank you all, and the chairman, as you noticed, is not here tonight, and I want to mention, if you have some prayers available that you can offer, Wally's mother-in-law is having some medical issues, and he's not able to be here tonight to run the meeting. So if you could offer a prayer for her recovery, whatever, we don't know much about other than the fact that she's in the hospital. So please forward a prayer for her to you-know-who, and we'd appreciate that. Director's report?
Thank you. I'd like to start with soccer fields, and I have Kevin Nasos here from Giza. Two things. One, we have a lawn care bid, and we have sections of the township that are mowed by contract, and one of the areas is the soccer fields. What Giza is asking, or putting it out there, is instead of having the contract, whoever receives that contract, that we let them cut it. And then they're asking for the payment in exchange. So instead of paying the contractor, they'll take over the full service of it. What they're proposing to do is probably about 3 or 4 times what we would be giving them. So Giza would be footing the rest of the bill. So we would just essentially be giving what we would have paid to the contractor, and then they'll take over maintenance and mowing of the fields. And if you have questions about that, Kevin is here. So that's one of the things we wanted to talk about. So I don't know if people have questions or if you want...
I just have a comment.
Sure.
Well, I think that's a great idea. However, is that something we need to approve, or the township board has approved it?
What I would ask is if we could put a motion forward in support of it or not in support of it. So then we've already have been in talks with Dale Ream. So there's been talks, but I just wanted to make sure that we had the support of the CRC before we went any further.
That'd be great. Do you want to give us a couple comments about that, and then we'll all request a motion, and we can at least forward that through our liaison to the township board.
No problem. Kevin Naso, as Brandy said, President of Grosse Ile Soccer. Thanks for having me here. In a nutshell, the reason we're doing this is, and I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with soccer, but when I took over 2-3 years ago, there was 2 travel teams on the island. Today we have 24. And we probably have upwards of 600 kids on Grosse Ile playing soccer here. So you're getting a lot of, and you probably don't hear it here, but Brandy hears it, the area over there is beautiful. We actually, and the reason we brought the grass cutting portion to it, we actually pay for an extra cut every week. We have a person on our board who owns a lawn care company, goes out and extra cuts the fields every week. So that's why we went to Grosse Ile and said, well, what if we just did the whole complex? And not just during the soccer season, but the whole season, the whole year. So he came back with a proposal. He'll cut the fields. He'll cut the entire complex, weed whip it. We've also approached him about, and we know there's certain things we can and can't do, about fertilization, about aeration. There's things that need to be done over there that we're willing to do as Giza, pay for it out of our pocket to support it and grow it. To the point where we're running out of space. We want it to look better. We want it to make it nicer. And that's why we approached Brandy and Dale about it. So.
Well, that's great. Appreciate that input. And if somebody would like to make a motion that we can pass on to Tom.
I don't wish to make a motion, but I just want to fill in a little bit. This past Monday, we tabled an action to approve the lawn cutting contract. It came with some issue, but this coming meeting, there's going to be a study session prior to the meeting in regards specifically to the lawn cutting contract. I would suggest that anyone interested attend that study session, give their input. On Kevin's part, I would say I would put something on paper and present it to Dale Ream prior to. We didn't want to discuss it. We didn't want to discuss it in the board meeting because there was enough questions that came up that we just chose to make a motion to take it off the action item out of the agenda. But like I say, this coming meeting, it will be a subject of discussion prior to, and anything that's you have proposed, I would present it to Dale Ream, before, and then we'll talk about it during the meeting. So,
My feeling is, though, that we should make a motion, not that we have to go into any lengthy discussion, because Brandy and...
yeah, I just didn't want to make, I didn't personally want to make the motion, Bill.
Yeah.
That was I just wanted to
Good.
fill in there.
Well, somebody make the motion, if they would, to support that activity, and then the board, when they decide what they're going to do, can respond to that, to our request to support that action. So would somebody make that motion?
So moved.
Okay, Leah moved, second?
Second.
All right. We have a motion second. I think we've had enough discussion. Any further discussion? None offered. We'll go ahead then, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Tom, you'll...
Yeah, and Kevin, if you can get that, if you can get, whatever you put down on paper, if you can get that to me.
I've already put it together.
Yeah, okay, if I can get a copy of it, and email it to me, I apologize, I don't have my GI email on me, but,
I think I have it.
okay. But yeah, get that to me, so I have it to, bring with me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Department updates.
Well, we're still on soccer.
Oh, okay,
The
good.
second part of soccer for Kevin, while he's here, he just mentioned the additional amount of children playing soccer over the last few years, and I'm going to have you, because I'm still not super familiar with the layout of where the soccer fields are located, but they are requesting a little bit more space over at Commerce Park. They're going to, do you want to explain?
There's a couple ideas that we talked to Dale about and Walt about. You think I would know this off the top of my head. There's 4 main fields over there, and then there's 4 rec fields for the littler kids. Because we want to maintain the integrity of the fields, we like to rotate them. So instead of our kids playing all the time on one field, we're trying to find spots to make more fields so we can rotate the game so it keeps the grass alive, doesn't kill it. So a couple suggestions came about was behind the current fields, which would be the north end along the tree line, we may put some fields back there. However, after our board got together and discussed it, what we're thinking of is, again, so north would be west of where the current garden is, I guess you would say. Yeah. They want to potentially, or they've talked about always putting a baseball field there for the last 6-10 years, whatever it may be. I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't know. If it does, that's great. But what soccer's asking for is what's the possibility that we can take that, cut that across, and we can plant grass, we can put soccer fields there, and it's going to become no cost of the city. It's all going to be funded by the GISA program. We already have plans in place. We already had contractors come out and look at it, to grade it, to level it, to fertilize it, to spray the grass seed and build the fields.
Do you have that option on that land, or do you need to go to the airport commission again?
That's rec land, isn't it?
No. It's, yeah.
Where the baseball fields are?
Yeah, well, that whole area, anything that's done there, if I remember correctly, needs to go to Greg and have him work that out, and then if it's acceptable, I think it then goes to the board. So Tom would be involved in that too. But I think that's the permission you need to make that kind of an expansion. We had to go through that when we put in the football practice thing over on this side of that road.
Yeah.
So I'm just going from memory. So if you want to pursue that, whatever it is you need, we'll obviously take that under consideration, and I don't see any reason why we wouldn't support that.
Yeah, we
need some clarity.
Yeah, we're not looking to build big fields. If you've ever been to the practice fields, we have 3v3 fields that are tiny. So that's the kind of area we're looking for. We want to make a larger field on the current property and then move the smaller field somewhere else.
Yeah.
Well, when Walt and Dale and Kevin and I met, we had that discussion, and we can double check. Well, when we were talking about the area
Behind the current.
the north, where you just had that land I thought that was not an issue. But going to where the baseball field potentially could be, the one thing that we would need to talk about a little bit further is that is in our master plan for a baseball field, so we'd have to do a little bit more. Go ahead.
You know, you brought this up, and I was going to bring this up at my subcommittee meeting. Gyra invited me to their baseball meeting when they had it, and they were talking about how do they get their baseball fields built. So they're very interested in doing that, and they want to pursue it. So I think we need to get both parties together, or all three parties together, and make sure there's not, you know, we don't want to bump heads with everybody. We want everybody to be happy, obviously. But if baseball's talking about now building those fields, which is in the master plan, we got to work something out.
We're not, we don't want to step on anybody's toes.
No, I get that.
We know Geese is not part of Gyra. It hasn't been for quite some time.
Yeah.
But we have a new board in place, so I'm all for, it's all about the kids.
No, exactly. And I understand. I just want to make sure that.
Yeah, I think when we were talking, the area to the north of the field probably wouldn't be an issue. And I think we're even okay with the airport commission. I think that's still our rec area.
I think so.
So that is probably not an issue. That'd be an us decision, but I will double check with Dale and the airport commission that we're not overstepping our bounds. But going over to the area where it's somewhat designated for a ball field in the future, that'd be something that we would probably need to have a little bit more discussion on,
Right.
Since it is in our master plan. So just to be fair to all agencies,
You just have to tell us, we're just a group of 8 people that have kids playing soccer that,
Right.
you know, I drive up there, and I've been here 11 years. My daughter's been playing for 7, and when I used to go up there, there was 10 cars in the parking lot. You go up there on a Sunday, there's 200 cars in the parking lot. So it's definitely growing, and I could tell you this, and you probably don't hear it, but Grocio's getting a really good name downriver from the soccer program, from the amenities that are on the field. And we do everything through GISA. We don't come to the city and ask for money and do stuff like that. If you go out there and look, there's 2 soccer signs out there, Home of Grocio Soccer. I put those up. I paid for those personally out of my pocket. We're not asking the city. We just want to make sure we follow the rules. I don't want to put something up and have somebody come and take it down. So if Gyra wants it, you know, Gyra can have it. We'll work around it.
I'm sure there's something that can be worked out. I just wanted
Absolutely.
to get that out there, that's all.
Did anybody else have any questions for Kevin? He's been on the road since 3 a.m., so we want to let him.
Great, thanks for coming.
No problem,
Appreciate
thank
that.
you.
Thanks, Gal.
Again, let us know what we can do to help.
No problem, thank you.
Anything else under soccer?
Oh, nope, that's it for soccer. I just want to remind everyone that Island Fest is coming up May 29th, 30th, and 31st. And we're really excited. There's a lot of things going on. We're going to have hot air balloons. We're going to have helicopter rides, the normal festival, the carnival, great bands, a great fireworks show. We certainly are still looking for sponsors, so if anyone is feeling rather generous, we would be happy to be on the receiving end of that. Moving on, the RFPs for Water's Edge, the restaurant, that deadline was Wednesday, April 15th, and we had 3 submissions from different agencies or organizations, companies. We are reviewing those currently. We had a brief meeting this afternoon to kind of go through them, and then we are looking to set up interviews with all 3 of the candidates and get more down and dirty with what their real plan is, what their vision is, and see which one would be the best fit for Water's Edge.
Great.
Sharkies wasn't one of the 3, or?
They did not reapply.
So I'm a little in the dark here, so I apologize.
No, that's okay.
So they're not interested in extending their lease, or?
They did not resubmit, so their lease is through December 31st of this year.
Okay.
One thing I wanted to add to your comment about the Island Fest.
Yes.
I was looking on the agenda where to put it, but I'm going to put it here. You guys in this community really are missing the boat if you haven't been to an Island Fest. We've talked to several people who said, well, we didn't even know there was an Island Fest. I don't know how they could miss it, but some people do. So your friends and neighbors, come on down. One of the greatest events this year on this island is going to be expanded by the fact that we're going to have at least 500 soccer players from out of town playing over at our soccer fields not only 500 kids, but their parents. And we're going to advertise and make sure that they can drift over when they're not playing over to Island Fest. So please expand the word to your neighbors to get them down, and we're going to have a real heck of a show this year, so don't miss it. And the fireworks has always been, I don't know of any fireworks I've ever seen that's as nice as that. I know Detroit spends a lot of money on their fireworks, but they shoot them off so rapidly that you don't get a chance to really enjoy that effect. So come on down and enjoy the good food and all the rest of it. All the newspaper, the IO camera and all the channels and everything will have all the information you need. But come on down the 29th, 30th, and 31st of May. And don't forget the parade on Saturday. That's, I put that under old business.
Just Giza is doing a tournament for the first time, and they're doing it Island Fest weekend, and they're calling it the Island Cup. And they actually have almost 1,000 kids that are going to play. So their numbers have really, it's really taken off. It's exceeded their expectations. So they're really looking at having a great first tournament, and then certainly that helps us because, like Bill said, we have 1,000 extra kids going over to the carnival. And I guess I'll skip ahead a little bit to my foot golf report. We have the equipment in, and it's been delivered, and we should have it installed within the next 2 weeks. And so we're hoping to kind of play off that and really have a great opening with a foot golf program, and have all those extra kids that are on the island come over and play around that weekend.
Well, a couple of things I'd like to add to that. There are 17 golf courses in Michigan now doing foot golf along with regular golf. It's not going to interfere. They're not going to be anywhere near our greens for the golfers. And it's going to be well handled by our recreation department, who plays, when they play. And keep in mind, when they play foot golf, they're going to pay the same price as it is for the golfers. So anything we can do to enhance play on this course will not only give us more money, we hope to enhance and beautify the course. And when I get into my report, I'll let you know where we are on that. But the foot golf is not anything that's going to interfere with golf per se. So if you want any more information, be sure to call me or come down to Recreation and we can explain it. But don't get all excited about, oh my God, they're going to put a hole this big in the middle of the green. That's not going to happen. And it's very, very interesting. And as I said, there's 17 local golf courses that are doing this. And they're doing it because I'm sure that they, like us, need revenue. So thanks, Brandy, for bringing that to us. And I think I think it's going to work.
We've actually got our first call of an interested group of wanting to do a league at Water's Edge. They're looking at doing it Mondays, and there's 14 couples, so that's 28 people that'll be interested in playing every Monday night. So I think it'll really catch on, and we're looking forward to integrating it into the golf course. Not yet, but they do them.
Amongst the 17, are there?
Well, the 17 courses, a lot of them are located up north, like Boying has one. So they're locally, the closest one is in Plymouth or Madison Heights at Red Oaks Golf Course.
I just asked Brandy if they had like tournaments or
Well, I think it's just getting started, but they're going to do all that. Oh yeah, they'll do everything to enhance the game just as we do in regular golf. So and Brandy's on top of it. So we're good with that. I think it's going to be a tremendous asset to our community. And just keep in mind, there's 500 kids on this island that play soccer. So if it catches on and they get competitive, yay hot, that's going to work.
I just wanted to follow up on the kayak launch, the RFP. We finally have it together. Dale's reviewing it. We're reviewing it with Rains Engineering Company, and we're hoping to have that out in the next couple weeks, posted, and so we can get moving on the installation of the kayak launch and the asphalt and the shoreline work. Channels, we're finishing that up currently. We're proofing it. We'll have the final proof back either tomorrow or the first part of next week, and then it'll be sent to the printer. And we're still right on schedule to have it delivered to the homes the week of May 11th. As soon as we have a proof, we'll have that on the website right away. So we'll have that actually online before it's delivered to the homes. But I would say within the next week we'll have it online, and then, like I said, delivered to the homes the week of May 11th. The insurance claim, just want to touch back, we had wind damage in November, and we had a lot of damage to a couple of our roofs, the pool fencing, the pool covers. At the farm, we had fence damage, we had roof damage, and so the claims have been coming in, and unfortunately, we got some bad news. Apparently, with fences and gates, you have to have a rider. And apparently we didn't have the rider at Water's Edge, so we won't get any money back to help replace that fence, which is, that's a shame. Apparently we had it at the farm, but there was only one section, I don't know, a section and a half at the farm, so it was, like, if it could have been reversed, that would have been great. But unfortunately, we called our insurance carrier, and we're looking into it a little bit further. But as of right now, we will not get any reimbursement for the fence at Water's Edge. And then the splash pad, I don't know if you want to wait and do that under old business.
No, do it now. You're on deck, and you're the one that's aware of it, so.
Okay. I have presented to the Township Commission twice, once in a work session, and then this Monday, presented it as a discussion topic. So it seems at this point it's still very well received. To move forward, though, as a rec commission, you kind of gave me your blessing to push it further, but we didn't do an actual resolution. So what I'm asking for the commission to do is if you want me to review the presentation, I can do that. If you feel comfortable with the information, is to have a formal resolution that you're in support of moving forward with the splash park.
Can you give us a thumbnail sketch just to review the public and us? Just a quickie is.
Well, the splash pad, I don't know if I can bring it up. The splash pad is a zero-depth water play area. So if you think about it as a playground that has water features. So it sprays water, it squirts water, it showers water. What we're running into is additional... Is that?
Somebody's cell phone.
Mary Lou's having a parade.
I was like, where's that music coming from? So, at Water's Edge at the pool, we have, other than the pool itself, there's no attraction or really ways for us to generate any more revenue. But we have a lot of ways to spend money there. We have to Marsite the pools, we have to do a new boiler at the baby pool, we need new covers because of the wind damage. So there's a lot of money that needs to go into the pool, but there's really not a lot of ways to bring in more revenue. So the point of a splash pad, one, is to attract families, recurrent visits, longer life of being able to have the splash pad on. You can open it within a couple hours, and you can close it down within a couple hours. So you don't have to open it in Memorial Day and close it in Labor Day. You don't have to worry about the pipes freezing. It's a quick turnaround to open or close. So you have a much larger shoulder season. You can open it up the beginning of May and close it down in October. So it kind of expands the life of what you're able to offer. It also is a great way, it's a great investment in the community. It's a great way to draw families, young families. We have, if we have 500 to 800 kids playing soccer, they're that age that they could come to the pool, have an interactive experience, and it can draw more interest to our pool area. The company that I've been talking with is Vortex, and they're cutting edge when it comes to splash pads. They were one of the first on the market when they came out, and they have done nothing but kept up with technology and really advanced technology. So I won't get into the measures of it, but basically option one, if again, I can bring this up on the monitor if you want me to, but option one was the initial splash pad. Let me just do that so there's a visual, if you don't mind.
No, go ahead and do that. Now, is cost a major issue?
Well, it's not free. So it is an issue in the sense.
You got a certain cost and a certain amount of income that's going to be generated by it.
Right.
So I want to make sure that.
It has a great return on its investment.
Okay.
So how they figure it is, well, what we would do is financing would be done actually through the township. So we would borrow money from the township. We would set up a payment where we would not begin payments until 2018. In 2017, our bond payment for work that we did on the travel lift, I believe there was some work done on Shoreline. We've had this bond for several years, and that drops off in 2017. So by financing the splash pad for 15 years, it's almost exactly the same payment. It's right around $44,000 a year for the 15 years. So essentially, we would be doing the same payment, just extended longer. But with the amount of revenue we can bring in and the amount of visitors we can bring in, in most cases, it's paid off. If you do just option one, the payoff is 3 to 5 years. If you do the whole package at once, which is what I would recommend, because if you, again, I'll go into that in a minute, you're talking 6 to 8 years. But we have the ability to kind of expand it over the 15 years if we needed to do so. But we have the ability, since we're borrowing the money from the township, to pay it off early. If you do a bond, you can't really pay it off early. They have fee structures throughout, and it's pretty much a concrete debt payment that you pay over the life of the bond. So by financing it through the township, we would have the ability to pay it off earlier. So,
Okay, good.
So that's a picture
So
of
what,
us.
do you need something from us tonight on that?
Well, the next time I go to the board, the township board would be May 11th. So I'd like to go forward with, obviously, the graces of the Recreation Commission, if you so desired.
Well, we're in support of it, aren't we?
Oh, what's that?
We're in support of a splash pad, aren't we?
Yeah, I think but.
Well, it was approved last time, but a formal resolution wasn't done, so I have created a formal resolution if you chose to do that this evening.
You want to read the resolution, and then I'll have somebody make that motion.
Bill?
Yeah.
I know we talked about this last month, but have we tried to get any feedback from the public to see if they're, I think it's a great idea personally, you know what I mean? But I don't know if the township board wants to vote on this without us.
Well, what you're doing is giving the graces of that you're in support of it, and then we are doing, I would be going to the township board again with the information, and then there would be, we have done some feedback. It's been on Opportunity Grow Zeal. It's been on the Facebook, and then a lot of talk as people come through the office, as we go through programs,
Right.
Just kind of throwing it out there. There was a young family in Township Hall the other day, and we kind of, so anytime we are kind of doing a touch market of people who are interested in.
Okay.
Where would they put that?
It would be where the current small pool is at Water's Edge. So that pool, the upper level, if you know how the pool is set up, you have behind the pool house, there's the baby pool, and then there's like 3 stairs and it goes to a large pool. So it would be on the upper level of the pool area.
Would be big enough for that?
Yep, it's actually 73 by 73 in that area, so you would have the ability to have it in the middle, and then there would be a walkway in between on both sides of the fence, the pool house, and then before you got to the stairs.
You're going to be you're going to use property on the other side of the fence?
No, nope, it's within
It'd be all
the,
within the pool area?
yes.
Oh,
yes,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead and read your resolution, and Tom, go ahead.
Brandy's correct. She did bring it before the board 2 separate occasions. One was during the study session, and then one was the past meeting. I want to say, for the most part, the entire board was in favor of it. They like the idea. They see in fact, at the beginning of the meeting, one of the kindergarten classes came in and did a presentation based on ecology studies that they've done. It was quite a little program they put on. But you just imagine, you look down at those little faces and imagine them at the splash park, right? It was almost perfect timing to do that. But overall, I want to say the board is in favor of it. There are going to be questions.
Oh, yeah.
Where one of the things that's going to be, I believe, will be requested, because it's right now it's on the draft for the next agenda as an action item. But it's going to be requested that perhaps a study session prior to the meeting to go over this. We represent the entire, the entire community. There are some things that are facing Groseal that we're all well aware of. Our roads, millages because we're not going to get any money from Wayne County to fix our roads. If anything's going to happen, we're going to have to pay for it out of our own pocketbooks. There are some pending issues in regards to our wastewater system, and there may be additional things that are brought forward to us by the state that we have to meet, another large cost. So there should be discussion on this. Brandy has come up with some numbers as to how she sees it being paid for. Obviously, if the payments don't start for a couple of years, that's great. Hopefully, the money's generated by its usage will support itself. But again, overwhelmingly, I say overwhelmingly, it was agreed to by the entire board that this was a good project, well worth looking into and moving forward on. But I don't see there being a pushback, but there is going to be discussion, and it'll be based on I've had this discussion with Walt. We talked about it a little bit. So if there is discussion, some opposition, it could be just because of future costs. But
and that puts the ball in their court. As long as we're doing our due diligence and passing it on to the board, then.
But every comment was positive.
Yeah. Brandy, you want to read that, and then we'll go ahead and request a motion?
Yes. Groseal Township Community Recreation Commission Resolution, Water's Edge Recreation Complex Splash Park Proposal, moved by, second by, approval for Groseal Recreation Department to submit a proposal to the Groseal Township Board of Trustees for funding consideration for the Splash Park project at Water's Edge Recreation Complex. The funds would be allocated for the purchase of splash park features, a water journey, a water recirculation system, installation and prep work of the splash park area, beautification and accessories needed, and project management expenses. Funds would be arranged through the township on a payment plan starting in 2018 for 15 years or less if paid back sooner.
Okay, everybody heard that. Is there any,
Excuse me, Bill. I just have a question. Brandy, remember I asked you this after.
Let's get a motion on the floor.
I know, but I want to ask her a question first, if you don't mind.
Well, we can do that during discussion.
Okay.
Let's get a motion and a second, then we can
You don't want to
discuss.
make the motion before I talk. So moved.
Okay, second?
No.
I have a second. Now, any discussion?
Yes.
Go ahead, Erica.
Okay, when I talked to Brandy this afternoon about this, she just mentioned now just doing it where the children's pool is. But they also are talking about putting a flat one next to the pavilion where the gravel is. And so that would make two separate areas.
That is correct. It would be, it's called a water journey, and I believe it's a flat play-like structure, and that would be in the gravel area next to the pavilion. And it's a low-flow process, so the water's only on if a child pulls the lever, and it's a trickling water. There's 4 different options we can choose from. That area it needs work anyways, so by putting the pad in, that would give us something in that area. The wall would be fixed, and then that's kind of an added feature next to the pavilion. That area would be free play, and the people who are running the pavilion or at the pavilion could utilize that area. If it's an adult party or someone that's not interested, that water is not on all the time, so then it's a very low, flat feature that essentially would not be in the way. They're used in public spaces, so they're very durable, and there's, like I said, there's 4 different options that you can pick from.
Is this, what you're showing us now, will that be encompassed in the presentation, or the presentation you just read, that encompasses our motion?
Yes, that is part of the
Okay.
option, so that is a feature
That
within.
the board will consider all these things, and then we'll go from there. It'll come back to us ultimately anyway. Anybody else have any discussion?
Now, this is outside of the Water's Edge
Pool.
Pool
Yes.
there, okay. All right, just wanted to double check, okay.
Anybody
This
else?
is kind of an animated picture. Let me go to the,
I still want
Just
to
like
know
little
whether we
channels,
need
you can
two
do
of
little
them.
like rubber ducky races on them.
this is one of them.
Okay.
And then there's one that just shoots water, depending on where the water flow starts, it might make the water dance, it might make it shoot, so there's 4 different ways that the water sprays up. So again, that is a total flat feature. So again, it would be unassuming to the people who are using the pavilion. And then there's one that, again, with the paddles. And this one is a race where you start at the top and the kids put a leaf or a little ducky and it goes through the water, and then they have to go to the channel and open the water or flip the paddle. And then there's one that is a trickle setting in it. I don't have a good picture of it, but it's like a rock type setting, and then the water flows through the rock. So again, it's for toddlers, small children, really small children.
Okay.
So they don't necessarily need to be in the hubbub of the splash park and the pool if mom has an infant or a baby and just wants to splash around a little bit.
Any further discussion? If none, all in favor? Oh, I didn't see your
Is there,
hand.
like, for this part, is there a cost then to use that, or?
No, that would
now
be free
it's
use.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, anybody else?
It's just it's really a wonderful proposal. It would be such a bonus and asset to Grow Seal, to the residents, as well as, if we try to encourage people to use Water's Edge, and transient boaters come in. Can you imagine if a transient boater, a family came in and there was a splash park for the children to play at? People coming from across the island, maybe not wanting to go out to Brownstown and just cross over into Grow Seal and use it. I think it's a wonderful opportunity. I'm 100% for it, so.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank
Motion
you.
carried.
Thank you very much.
May I have a copy of that so I can get it into the...
Anything under new business? None offered, we'll go ahead with the subcommittee updates. Township Board Liaison, Modesto. Tom, do you have anything further?
No, I really don't. Just with, Brandy's presentation to the board of the splash park, the positive feedback that came, it'll be something on the coming meeting's agenda and as an action item. Beyond that, I mean, it looks good, so, expect some conversation about it, but there was nothing negative, it was all positive feedback from the board itself.
That's great.
I just want to clarify, it's the May meeting.
May 11th.
May 11th, yes.
Thank you.
Leah, you want to finish typing?
Yeah.
Okay, you're on deck.
Since I was cruising in Europe, I didn't make the Open Space Committee meeting, so Ann's going to report.
Okay.
Oh, I'm totally.
You left it home.
No. Oh, Lena, totally. Okay,
Not a report today.
Okay, well, I do have one thing. I talked with Cliff, and I will be at the meeting this month. But I talked with him, and he wanted me to make sure that the community and we understood that they are preparing an open space nature guide. And that will be done in collaboration with the Conservation Group and the DNR. So that, I know they've been working long and hard at that, and I'm glad to hear that it's finally at the point. And I'm sure, Brandy, you were involved with helping with that, to getting it started. So thank you.
Okay, great. Bill Morrow, Golf Committee report? Yes, I do. We have 2 trees we've already taken down this year because they were relatively small, but they were dead. And we're going to assess when the growing season gets better, we'll be able to assess the overall damage, if there is, to any of the other ash trees or whatever trees we have on the course. We have 1 or 2 people who might be interested in purchasing a tree for the course. I'll follow up on that. I still have the Pat Koblak plaque to get together. Unfortunately, I don't have it done because I was on vacation too. And we didn't put any of the plaques out because the weather has been so bad. But when they all get out, we'll do, as I said earlier about Ted Fournier coming and doing a presentation. So if anybody in the township would like to donate a tree to the Water's Edge Golf Course, the we'll be more than happy to work on that. Please see Brandy, she'll get with me, and I'll take care of it to make sure that it happens and gets planted. And if you have a designated area you would like to see the tree put, as long as it's not in front of Bill Morrow's ball between me and the green.
No, we're going to put it there.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll be more than happy to comply with whatever your request is within reason. I've gone through, and we have a new golf committee, and we've had 2 meetings so far, Brandy and I and Mark. And God love Mark. He's really done a fantastic job through the winter in getting our equipment where it needs to be. And I'm telling you, without him, that golf course would be in real trouble. We've done, he's done verticutting. We're working on sanding the greens, which he's done, and that happens every 2 weeks. The sanding of the greens makes the greens softer to land on, but faster to putt on, which has been some of the requests by the golfers. We're going to start coloring the greens so that they look nice and green. And the greens have already been rolled. And we're going to start aerating the fairways once the growing season gets established. So we're going to do that on a fairway by fairway event. And we're working on drain issues for 3, 4, and 9. And the tee boxes are in pretty tough shape now because the growing season isn't where it should be. So those will get dressed up, and we'll be utilizing them to a better advantage. However, I'll end with this. We're looking for 2 volunteers for the golf course, which will be supplemented with rounds of golf or whatever would happen. And you need to work 8 hours a week only. And but we need the volunteers for Monday and Tuesday in the afternoon. So if somebody would like to step up and do that, we'll continue to pursue getting somebody to cover it. And again, if you have the desire to do it, get a hold of Brandy, and she'll take care and make sure you get in the proper spot. So far we've done pretty well. Again, there are other things on the agenda. And lastly, we have league openings, and we also have openings in some of the already established leagues. Unfortunately, we're all getting older, and some guys aren't just able to make it around anymore, like myself. No, I'm still golfing. But anyway, please let us know if you'd be interested in joining a league or starting a league. Thank you. What's that?
Bill?
Yes.
Right here.
Yes.
Going back to the trees, what do you have in mind? Is it something that, I mean, I can donate a 3-foot little sapling, but I'm sure you've got something in mind.
What we're looking for is a tree that, we've gone through this with a couple of the landscape people that sell trees and things. Mm-hmm. And what we're looking for is a tree that doesn't grow much more than 35 feet high, is very hardy, and isn't messy for the golf course, and is kind of wide, because we use those for personnel protection. Sure. And we also use those to beautify the course. And again, we're standing right now at, we've taken down 30, almost 40 trees that we've had to take down, and I think we've replaced 21.
So you want something that you can clear with the 8-iron?
A what?
You want something that you can clear with an 8-iron.
Yeah.
But if somebody wanted to donate a tree, does that mean they have to go pick it up, dig a hole, and plant it, or is that something that they would?
If you want a tree, we can go over the prices, because there are different prices for different kinds of trees. But we've defined which of the trees we would like to see on the course, and then they can choose what tree they would like, and then it's an extra $30 for me to get the plaque and the stand and the whole thing put together with a name on it to indicate who is the donor or who the tree was donated for.
Thank you. But you got to be able to clear with an 8-iron, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, Bill.
Absolutely. That's the end of my report, and let's see. Mike Swales, is there anything Mike's not here. Anybody else?
He's not here. I guess I can report. We're doing a walkthrough on the marina on Tuesday, May 5th.
Okay.
So we're going to go through and just kind of see what docks need to be repaired, any of the issues that we have, anything that happened over the winter.
That's
So
the Marina Committee plus the maintenance and you?
Mark, Walt, Mike, and Bob Lang,
Okay, good, yeah.
What time is that?
5 o'clock.
All right, Centennial Farm?
I just have two things that were brought up to me.
And Brandy's on them. I was approached about the dog park fencing and redoing that. Brandy's got that under control. That has to do with some monies and grouping it with some other fencing. So anybody that uses the dog park needs to know that she is working on that, on getting the fencing put in so that it's safe, it's good for the dog and its dogs, and it's up to date. So you just got to relax and wait for that to happen. The other thing is the landscaping issues there's a lot of issues with the landscaping at the Centennial Farm. Some of them we've discussed and how to handle them. Brandy's on top of that. Thanks for the reminder that we have to do that. That has a lot to do with the landscaping, has to do with the people that mow the land, and also the general aesthetics of the Centennial Farm. That has a lot to do with the weather. Brandy's on top of that, and thanks for reminding us.
Okay, great. Anything
That's
else?
it for me.
All right. Greg, anything on airport recreation area?
As I stated before, I met with Gyro with their baseball group. I'm going to try and set something up with their football group, and then, of course, I'll try to meet with Giza, and then I'll get back to everybody.
Okay, great. Senior citizens, FOIAs?
Okay. The first thing, this May 13th senior pizza party, they've changed the spelling bee to a trivia contest. Bob's hiding back there. But anyway, people do like the trivia, and we've had a lot of fun with that. So there's still time to make reservations, and you can call 734-675-2364. And then the schedules, I've had a lot of questions about this. The schedules for the Grosse Ile Recreation Department Riverfront Concert Series are completed. They'll be on Thursdays at 7 p.m. from June 18th through August the 6th, rain or shine. Also, concerts on the Commons are Sundays starting June 28th through August 30th from 7 to 8 p.m. And this year we're going to have several travel programs planned for the seniors, the trips. July 7th to Turkeyville, July 28th the Toledo Mud Hens, July 18 and 19 Jack Hanna in Columbus, Ohio, that's an overnight. September 23rd Ryan D. Hughes swinging the Sinatra Way at the Bavarian Inn in Frankenmuth, and all the information will be in the new channels that's coming out. And we will require 10 people if you want to be picked up at here on Grosse Ile. Otherwise, if people want to go, there'll be another destination. And on May 26th, the Grosse Ile Senior Club will hold their installation of officers and 45th anniversary celebration at Sharky's on the River at 1 o'clock. And this year is the 30th anniversary of the Downriver Senior Olympics, July 27th through the 31st, hosted by the City of Woodhaven with Tim Rooney. Downriver men and women 50 years and older, there's something for everyone, from baking contests to sports to cards to ballroom dancing. So everyone sign up. And then we end with an awards banquet at Crystal's Gardens on Friday, July the 31st at 12 noon. That's it. Thank you.
All right, very good.
Can I just add that the application or to sign up to be involved in the Olympics is due by June 26th to any of the local recreation departments.
Oh,
Yeah, I
good.
put a couple of papers back there too.
Okay, Playscape, Parkway, East River Road ending?
Let me put the flyer over on the camera.
Do you know how to put the overhead camera on? Do you know how to put the overhead camera on? Oh, you got it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Good evening. There's really nothing too new to report at the Playscape, but for East River Road,
there's the flyer that will be going home to the school kids. I sent that over to the school superintendent's office today to get approved, and then they'll let me know if anything needs to be changed. And then that will go to the teachers, and then it will also get sent home to the school kids. They have a program called Electronic Backpack, so instead of printing all kinds of paper, it just gets emailed to everybody. The time frame for naming, suggested naming for the East River Road Park is tentatively scheduled for May 4th through June 5th. And people can submit names. Either this will go to the EO camera, it will be put out to the schools, it will be on the township Facebook page, and also the Opportunity Grow Seal Facebook page. So people can submit suggested names for that area, and we're saying they're suggestions because this is not a contest. We'll have a committee to whittle down the names to maybe like the top 6, and then those will be presented to the township board, who will then determine the final name for this. That will happen sometime this summer, and we'll get like some kind of a naming. The Grow Seal Nature and Land Conservancy also has some members. We're doing the naming thing in conjunction with the Grow Seal Nature and Land Conservancy, and they have some members who have offered to help us. So it's a joint effort kind of thing. Let's see. Also, the Boy Scouts from Troop 1261 will be helping. They need to do a service project. A bunch of them went down to the Florida Sea Base over Easter, and they need a service project to earn an additional badge for that. So they were thinking if there was an area they could work on, the East River Road Park would be good. And so I approached Doug Thiel and Peter Kantz, and they want to put like a gravel walkway from the stairs to the bench that's there. So they're going to dig out some of the sand, replace that with stone to make it so it's firmer, and that work will be done over the next month or so. So.
I have a question. You indicated that you're going to do this form, but it has to be done by the 4th?
Well, we're kind of giving like a month time frame. May 4th through June 5th.
Oh, June 5th.
Yeah,
Okay,
June
good.
5th. May 4th through June 5th. So it's like a month. Yes.
All right.
And
that's good. Anything else?
No, that's it. That's all I have.
All right. Extended public comment. Bob or Craig, do you have anything? You do? Come on.
Who is this?
Give him a minute, he'll say it.
Yeah,
Craig Pilkington, South Point.
there you go.
First of all, the splash pad, very exciting. On the OpGI Facebook page, we've had a lot of support for it. We've also had some resistance to it. And my suggestion was going to be, and I think Mr. Myring, is that correct? Alluded to it earlier. I don't know how many of you remember, and I'm sure a lot of you do remember what transpired with the Safe Routes to School some years ago. But when you had in that case it was neighborhoods, but you had groups and neighborhoods that felt that they were disenfranchised from the decision-making process. And I think in the case of this, the splash pad, which I think is a wonderful potential revenue generator for the township, and a wonderful way to expand recognition for REC's assets. But I think it's very, very important to reach out, and especially to that target demographic that you're really shooting for, that 25 to maybe 25 to 45 age group, the young mothers, the young parents. I don't want to leave the fathers out. I already did that once. And somehow engage them in the process, whether it's in design and in input, whether it be from this commission or whether it be at board level. I think that's the smart way to go. And I think it'll build advocacy for the project going forward rather than building resistance because a group of our residents felt that they were left out. So that's my suggestion, is find a way to encourage and engage your public. And I think you'll have a far better chance of success, especially if this is going to be a ballot issue down the road. Is that correct?
No, it will not be a ballot issue.
Oh, it would not be a
No,
ballot
no,
issue?
no.
Okay. I'll leave that part out.
Would you repeat your name for me, please?
Pilkington, Pilkington. First name is Craig, C-R-A-I-G.
Thank you.
And thanks so much for your time this evening.
Appreciate it. Extend, yes, go ahead.
Kathy Walker, Thorpe Court. Just quickly, because I run numbers, it's $660 for 15 years. It's $44,000 for 1 year. What is your budgeted expectation of how many children you will get at this on an annual basis?
Currently, and there's no way of knowing how many people we'll get, so it's all based on averages. But Brownstown, they do 3 sessions a day, and they do anywhere from 100 to 150 people each session. So they're getting almost
Three to 450 a day.
Right.
Okay.
And then it's based on averages, so there's approximately 120 summer days, so 70% of that, give or take with weather, so you're maybe based on a 100-day life cycle of good weather. And the nice thing about a splash pad is it doesn't have to be 90 and sunny and great because people will come out. It's not quite as full-fledged as a pool. Mom can sit on the side in jeans and the kids can play in the park and they're there for an hour. So you do have quicker visits. You certainly have long visits, but that's why the shoulder season is so much more popular because moms can come out, play a little, the kids can play a little bit, and then, so it's based on, I was very conservative on my numbers and not 600 kids a day, like they are.
You've got 10,400 people here. If you've got 2,000 kids and I'm sure you don't, but 2,000 kids, 10 years to 2, how often do you think those 2,000 kids or 1,000 kids are going to come to if you've got 100 days? How often do you think they're going to come? What will you charge them to offset the $44,000? Because that's a lot of money for kids. So how much are you going to charge them?
Currently, it would be the $5 admission into the pool.
So a child will pay $5 to play in the splash park?
Well, they're paying $5 currently to get into the pool area now.
I'm just asking because I play with numbers, and you think how many times will the parents bring them in the 100 days? Because are you expecting, what percentage will you expect of GI residents versus off-island people coming? Do you have a percentage on that?
Well, I mean, not an exact percentage, but I think I know I don't have kids myself, but I have 3 nephews, and all my cousins have kids of that age, and they go to a splash park every single day in the summer.
Every day?
Yep. I mean,
so that would be $500 per child.
Easy.
Yeah, I don't know. I just when I heard 44,000, I went, well, if we took 2,000 into that.
Well, that's why we have family passes.
No, I'm just talking about the splash pad because the 660,000 is just to put in those splash pads and things for the 15 years. It's not to fix the pools or anything else. It's just for those.
That comes out of our maintenance budget.
Okay, but you're expecting 300 a day?
I would say easily.
300 a day. So 300 of the 2,000 kids that are on the island or off island would be there. Okay, I'm just curious. Thank you.
Okay, thanks. Anybody else? Bob?
No, thank you, Bill.
All right, buddy. Individual commissioner comments. Ethel?
I would just like to say that at the board meeting, they announced that Sue Posiak had a health problem, and I'm happy to say that she is doing very, very well and will be back to work.
Thank you, Ethel.
I'm good.
Lee?
What Ann and I were just discussing, the open space has a wood cutting thing scheduled for May 2nd and 3rd, but there was recently an article in the newspaper that Wally Posack is concerned about the disease of the trees around here and not doing it in the spring, so just keep alert that may be changed until the spring breeding time is passed.
Yeah, I read that too. I was going to mention Sue Posiask too. As you all know, in this community, she's a stalwart worker for the seniors and this community in every respect. So she's healing well, I guess, and so keep her in your prayers also. A wonderful lady, and anybody that's ill can use prayers. So, anything for you?
No,
Good?
I'm good.
Great. Okay, with that, we'll go ahead and, yes, Tom?
I'm sorry, you asked me earlier how I'm feeling. I'm feeling much better, and obviously the fact that I'm running my mouth a lot should prove the point. No, I'm really looking forward to what's taking place with the Recreation Department. We have an opportunity, there will be an opportunity for a new restaurateur to come in and run the restaurant facilities. The gentleman who gave the presentation from the West River Cruising Club, just think if we could bring the marina together along with the restaurant, with the splash pad, with the foot golf, with the golf itself, with the pool. If we could bring all these elements together and working as one. There's nothing that can't be done at the Recreation Department at Water's Edge. I think it's just a wonderful opportunity going forward. I see so many positive things. I hope everybody else looks at it the same way I do. So
there's a lot of opportunity, and the reason I asked George about the ILYA and AYC, that covers Michigan, Ohio, and parts of Canada as far as participating in cruising and what they call poker runs and things. We need to take a look at advertising in those magazines and offering what we offer. There are very few marinas that can haul the boats that we can haul. Sometimes you can go to these places and all they have is a little thing, but we've got a pump out, we've got food, we've got golf, we've got the kayaking, we have, and the pool, and the other splash thing, if that works. There's so much that we have to offer to the boating community, and I'm telling you that my wife and I in our prime, we went to all these different places for those various reasons. And I think if we were to advertise, we don't need to take a full-page ad, but if we can promote this in Michigan boating magazines, and there's a lot of state facilities or pamphlets and things that they post in all of these rest areas, we could do a heck of a job in promoting this island and what we have to offer. And obviously in the little brochure, we'd have to put a map on how to get here, because I don't want anybody driving in the water, but we can get them over here and they can really enjoy. And someday down the road, we might want to think about, if that grows, we might want to think about offering bicycles.
There are so many opportunities.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm probably going to get swatted in the back of the head, but we've got a very bright young recreation director who has really gone over and above. I mean, she's really grabbed a monster by the throat and is wrestling it to the ground. I think if we stick with her, back her, support her, there's nothing that can't be done. And I see so much potential in our recreation department and what we can offer people off the island as well as people on the island. So
I agree.
Thank you, Brandy. I'm looking forward to it.
Lee?
Yeah. I'm sorry, before we adjourn, our student liaison, Natalie Snyder, sent me a report that you didn't ask me to report on.
I didn't know that she had passed on something to you.
She has.
Feel free.
Yeah, she is one wonderful person, I tell you. She's just a delight. The spring sports are in the early stages, so they don't have accurate standings yet. However, the girls' rowing team tied for first at the Head Club with Riverview this past weekend, so that's good. The Jekyll's Hyde, the spring play, was very successful, one of the funniest that they've ever put on. There will be a one-act festival, a student-coordinated event made up of 5 short one-act plays, and that will be May 22nd, I think at the middle school auditorium, and tickets can be purchased at the school from any members of the theater department. The marching band will be going to Kings Island this Friday, May 1, to march in the park, and I would add 2 scholarship winners from Grosio Musical cannot be at an awards banquet tomorrow because they will be there instead. So that, she's right on the band here. The spring band concert is May 21 at 7 o'clock. So be there for the symphonic band, the wind ensemble, and the jazz band. The art and choir concert is May 19th, along with the art show. Tonight is the National Honor Society induction, which is where she is now. And that's where John Conroy is because she's sponsoring him, or he's sponsoring her. The fundraisers, the benefits for Stella DeMar, a Grosio local who recently underwent a life-changing surgery due to a genetic disorder she was born with, causing her feet to be pointed straight forward. Stella and her family did everything they could to help her walk, but surgery was the last result. And so that surgery resulted in amputation of both of her feet and hopes that she can someday walk using prosthetics. This fundraiser is to help cover her lifelong medical expenses. So there will be a raffle for second and third prizes, and the prizes are gift cards to local restaurants and stores. So it ends Friday, but if anyone is interested in donating, we'll be happy to help you get in contact with Bree Riley and anyone else. Prom is Saturday, May 2 at the Rooster Tail, and graduation for the class of 2015 is June 4.
Great, thank you for that.
Yeah, she's good.
I feel like applauding.
Craig, did you have something else?
Just real briefly.
Sure, please.
Just because you mentioned it,
I had several discussions last week with a national bike sharing company named Zagster, and they kind of started a bike sharing program, so they've been very successful with it. So I've got presentations and I've got preliminary price points. I think it's interesting. Wyandotte has got an installation. Trenton has signed up for one, I understand, or has the papers on their desk. And I believe that Woodhaven or Brownstown is doing the same. This would allow somebody to come in and take get a bike that's in a locked position, take either their mobile phone or different methods of electronic payment to unlock it, to unlock the bike. It's a inexpensive fee. I think it's $5. You can drive it to different stations. So that if you wanted to drive to, if you wanted to take the bike and drive around the island, if you wanted to have the main station maybe on Macomb Street, and then you had a bike station at Water's Edge, you could pick one up at Water's Edge, you could take it down. I think it's a great way to connect all of the assets that we have on the island and make those available. So I hope to have more information for you on this in the very near future, maybe by your next meeting. And they can put an installation in 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh, great.
So,
well, that's good feedback. Thanks, Craig. I'll entertain a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second. All right, Ethel, thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Okay.